comes two films based on the 100% true ghost story.
Trailer, thank you so much.
The Cheat.
Totally fun.
Go in there.
That's the thing is
Come
I
on.
like all the spin-offs, but there's something.
What happened?
Are you okay?
Channel or whatever, and they're talking about how a studio, speaking of Screen Junkies, I'm supposed to go back on Movie Fights for the third time this year, at some point this month.
Burning out.
That was actually scary. That was actually
Biggest case of their lives in Conjuring 1, while in Conjuring 2, they were
going, I forgot how actually scary a lot of part of the Universal monster.
Yeah.
The universe they have here. Whenever I'm hearing conversations in any like movie news, do one time each in the theaters, I don't even remember exactly into a universe. I think it was tension building.
chairs.
Anyway, The Conjuring, a movie I've only seen one time many years ago.
Because these ones are lame, unthreatening, and they smell like toots.
There's this.
not my favorite.
Vera, but
Basic inspection.
kind of think that the Conjuring movies suddenly turn.
Is a bit more grounded, and oddly, I mean,
But I like the second one more. I feel like the what
just like the loud bang
thing. Oh yeah.
And Dory, or the ghost.
Financial hit. Yeah. The Conjuring.
And
Who tried to take her land and hung it.
Come up, trying to eject to die. Exclusive with Corn Hardy there. You guys gotta
all of spin-offs ready to go. Sequences of
works.
It's the most relatable horror scenario, like the highest echelon of what current horror is at. But honestly, I return to and think back on it.
slammed doors.
Never hear anyone bring up the Conjuring universe,
Because they slipped it in under our noses.
but it's
You never
As they go,
being so in your face. Because even Marvel, like for as well as Marvel has rolled that wheel, there was still a movie. But yeah, the second one is John. How
from off a space.
yeah. We're gonna watch the honest trailers for The Conjuring. We watched it. That's round. We got full-length TV show reactions, weekly Q&As. Got a lot of stuff over there. Would love to have you.
What they're capable of.
from an audition
These
tape
beasts will
somewhere.
stick to the conventional 3-act structure of
Successful. It's worth going through the convent and the catacombs in promotion for Warner Brothers.
They're for
Yeah.
me. So yeah, they are kind of the heart and soul. Even in
Wanted to be like Marvel's not like The Conjuring sections. It's fun to do the fun names and all that.
yeah, but in this one you just have in a big way. Because I mean, not a lot of big budget
So
horror.
I also thought was very clever. It's a
It's out of those
Yes.
movies. They've spawned. They've brought studio.
even more creepy children's toys.
2 movies based off that.
Slowly walking downstairs.
Good Man, The Nun, Annabelle. I remember those things.
Or the trailer moment.
And then he was talking about how he was in communication with James Wan when they were
Cursed anyone.
to get notified when vlog is up.
Doors that wouldn't open. There were doors that would go creak. There were doors.
What happened? Hello, Reject Nation. Right now, because we have spent all weekend putting together a vlog.
Insidious more often than I do The Conjuring.
Stories. So when you
Yeah.
mix in
Yeah.
a bunch of haunted house cliches, there's
OMG, it's Taylor Swift.
they have just a very unfortunate name.
I don't know.
To decent horror.
I forgot how
after years of
cool
found
all this shit
drag.
was. I'm Greg.
Patrick Wilson and Vera
Like-
Farmiga really.
It's way more fun than Annabelle.
I don't know what they're talking about.
Hear about that? Yeah.
Of the least funny Ghostbusters. Hooray.
They had like 3
Yeah.
different.
Kept selling the place.
That's a good one. That's a good point.
1 and 2.
Hey.
The Warrens 2.
Maybe The Conjuring 2 stuck with me a bit better because it brings in some of those insidious elements, like sequence that you want to complete. Because so many.
It's a combination of Doctor Strange and Jean Grey.
Kind of
Yeah, because when they're talking about the haunted house,
focus on the movie you're making right now.
Yeah.
As well as this.
this honest trailer is so brilliant. Specifically in those stars.
Cat.
Oh my god!
Or kill a dog. Close enough.
But I will say about that film that I was talking. I was talking with a director who's done a pretty good amount of work.
Enough creep.
Sing it in front of the fire.
We were the only group that he actually went through the haunt with, so we got an excuse. Go check this video out. It would mean the world to us.
Of Ed and Lorraine Warren.
100%.
And it's a shame.
Brought back
Just trying not to
studio
think about
horror
how
in a
fake
big
these
way.
ghost hunters probably were. I mean, they couldn't be as full of it as the ones.
Like they did it old school where they literally just had a spin-off that made money and then they're
Oh man.
or sound John Bailey.
Three. I'm like, you gotta cap it off, right?
The weird thing is, like, as much as you can't have a haunted house movie without
Right.
that.
Anyway, guys, John Bailey, great job on the voice.
Respect the Conjuring films. I know a lot of people really love them as like, yeah, it's pretty good.
Bell,
Just said it.
click it.
Which is just an element that the first one doesn't have as much. Like the first one is a bit more of a
I
drama.
move if we could talk about it.
Extremely long scene.
Yeah.
Locked doors.
They're like, hey,
Yeah.
we could do this a bunch of times.
Well, there was I don't want to like drop names here.
That has an entire.
This shirt, so thank you so much for the birthday present, my dear. Vargina is the funniest one you could have used for the starring for her. Tysa, click that notification.
Patrick Wilson in a haunted house. Alright, that's enough. I think the real evil force at work here was the real estate company.
It's our recommendation. Even people want to see the Crooked Man. Like this is a. Get out. You guys can subscribe to the Reject Nation. That video should be up.
The whole universe together.
Congratulations on another wonderful, honest.
Residence Evil.
Showing the universe, I would like a Conjuring.
Anyone straight.
None without. I don't know about embargoes. If we could talk, forget when the embargo is. I'm talking about solid, good collection to back it up. Everything with those doors.
Of Elvis Presley.
Only fool.
Nerio possible.
Oh,
Bride of Frankenstein. If those
More
get
like
made.
the invisible box. More up for criticisms for how true is all of this.
Did
really?
that chair
Yeah.
really turn upside down?
Here that I was looking at going to the Conjuring world,
Yeah.
but when it does, it's awesome.
screenplays.
3 stages of demonic activity. Infestation.
Except the dude.
First one's a better film.
It's a more restrained.
Ring that notification.
Daleks are not robot.
Universe. And they've pulled it off. It works. I mean, the Annabelle movies were both hits. Yeah.
And yeah, The Conjuring hasn't really done that much lately. I guess the only joke you can.
As you on the menu.
Oh, look what you made me do. Free.
It was my birthday yesterday. I want to say thank you again to everyone.
Enough of the anticipation porn. You're giving me scare balls.
Turning an age. Thank you to all you guys. You guys are wonderful. Want to trim down a little bit here and there. We put a lot of work into it. Dead Meat James.
That would be banged on, and there were doors. And the second Conjuring is a bit zanier.
They're that all today.
From the director of that other horror franchise starring or tossing out any of the old haunted furniture.
My ex-husband bought all the furniture with the house.
Sets up in the universe.
In
How
films that will lay
franchises
the
work.
groundwork for a growing MCU stuff.
Bell. And check us out on Patreon.
Creepy Crocs.
Might stop at 3:07 a.m.
Creepy Fog.
Great return to like studio level horror.
So true. Is featured in the video. Corn Hardy, the director. My nipples are so hard. 1 and 2 are.
Yeah, I mean the Conjuring films overall in the little universe.
It's
Familiar.
because I think the reason why people will clown on the Conjuring movie specifically for that.
Tales about families with so many kids you won't keep. Oh, please, none, take me away. Starring
Make all these movies gratifying in that sort of
Yeah.
campfire kind of.
Man accused of witchcraft and Salem.
I remember that.
7 days old. Judson
Yeah.
caught her sacrifice.
Right.
Bad Doors.
Yeah.
It was around like right when they want to do Annabelle, like right after the success of the first Conjuring.
Yeah.
Creepy lakes.
Yeah.
Creepy basements.
Yeah.
Creepy cellars. Tackled the other biggest case of their lives.
Yeah, they thrive.
And I kind of feel like I never realized how much of a drinking game
Yeah.
these movies are until you sit down with an honest trailer.
Well,
Yes,
Dark
the
Universe.
Dark Universe.
That was a
Totally.
great hit.
Can't wait for the Invisible Man.
A nun with the same weaknesses as Rumpelstiltskin.
The nun!
The ghosts were real.
Vagina.
That would have been a top
Vagina.
shelf. Yeah.
Thereof.
Prepare for 2 haunting tales.
You gotta at least see your third Conjuring.
more wild. And
Yeah,
fun. I mean, the
and I
second
kind of
one,
like that. Yeah.
But hey, more power to them for
Yeah.
as long as it works and for as long as they're putting elements that you just like the clap.
House tropes. They're filled with all the haunted house cliches. I'm like, that's part of the charm, though.
Freak like something died.
It opens the door
What happened?
from our experience. Go
And the
vagina.
The Crooked Man is like
In Conjuring 1 and 2.
Come on.
Come up out of that ground and get us.
Oh, it's horrible. Make it stop.
For the stuff that gets spin-offs or as announced spin-offs,
Or
like
the-
one of them was critical and
Scared, Steve.
Creepy children's story.
followers of the channel. Thank you so much for your support. Ashley Edner, a longtime friend, gave me
Oh, light.
a really good standalone movie that's not bent on connect.
I felt my soul hurt on your behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Or I'm stretching.
depending on who you're hanging out.
None, which is all part of the Conjuring universe. That. But Dan Merle wrote that joke.
Is also there.
It's so small.
Steven Spielberg. No, I don't want to drop names here. Who
Enjoyable that actually kind of utilize budget and stuff like that.
so much on the Warrens were real people. These are true.
Awful smoke.
Watching all this footage back and looking at the creepy imagery, because I've only seen
Kind of way while not
one who paid me money
cha-ching.
for.
Possession and possession.
I'm gonna guess. At minute 15, they say.
So for honest trailers, writers, congratulations.
I mean, The Conjuring 2 very much overstepped that boundary, I felt like.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
But if you're gonna spew in the biz on TV, right?
My name is Zach Bagan.
Creepy children's stories.
Are there any?
Be history to fill an actual history book.
The movies they're not in. You know,
Yeah.
I'm still thinking of. I remember that
They'll
joke.
tackle the
Because the first one, few that does.
names in Latin
Fende no semprelio.
and the flame.
Universe that's actually working. Whenever people talk about everyone who wants
So buckle up for a return.
at the same time.
And got stuck living with every haunted house cliche in the book. Like
About having Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga together that anchors.
I'm a child. Really stinks.
whether it's a witch who can
There's another boy who drowned in a pond here. She had a boy named Rory who disappeared and she killed herself. Someone worked as a maid in a neighboring home, committed suicide. She possessed the mother to kill her.
And smack the ceiling.
How accurate is all this when it's so cliche? Which perfectly fits for our lifestyle from ones dedicated to doors.
There would horror back.
So much. Keep a lookout for when we're on movie fights and keep a lookout for our vlog. Please check it.
shared spooky
Oh.
Yeah?
forget the epic demons
Culpable.
of myth and legend.
Like,
There you go. Yeah.
slamming or something.
Having that repetition, I think, is part of what makes
Franchise's signature touch.
tropes that you'll see in the movies. And when they have like a
Well, that's the
get
thing
that
is-
Amityville.
Brothers settled that lawsuit against them because they almost had to go to trial to prove.
Stop farting.
Movies are critical and financial hits. Everyone's very excited for The Nun. It might have been when they did the first Conjuring, but it was very early on where they wanted to go for a universe. You guys are constantly trying to start a universe, and everyone wants to be Marvel, and it never works. I never the whole starring. It's always when they show the most repetitive,
Tropes.
specifically the Conjurings, not Annabelle or even The Nun, is because of the fact that I don't remember a lot of the plot and a lot of the fun scares that come from it. I remember
Phases during their operation where we were like, I get it, stop with the crossover.
maybe towards the end. Let's find out, people. Works though, man.
Instead of aliens in action,
It works.
with your normal everyday voice. Hell, my voice, bro. Without doing even the
A
most.
lot of creepy imagery.
Versus just crumble because they put the cart before the horse, you know?
Yeah, and the
Awesome!
There's
Yeah.
just enough connective tissue to make.
Voice. Creepy crawl spaces.
part of the fun.
Creepy animal.
We're developing the Conjuring from the beginning as a universe. A lot of people
Got a certain amount of time and care into these movies.
and as much as I'm enjoying universe is working though.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just goes to show that you can't get ahead of yourself and you have to.
Sometime tomorrow. Still got some touch-ups to do on it. Still got some editing to.
Favorite crop of pulled comments.
You know, my favorite casting bits are when they do like.
Cinematic universe.
Name gives me dominion over
you demon?
Make now is like any character that's not the main ghost, you can now go, oh, that's probably gonna get a spin-off.
Yeah.
You can be sure that no matter
With
They're haunted
these
house
movies,
movies. I mean, they're gonna
know.
be. That's a genre where I'm just like, well,
be contained by a
I wonder if those doors are rusty the rest of the time.
exactly what they were looking for in those. Other than there's a haunt, there's a family.
Coming tomorrow.
badges have become
So
clear
true.
they bought their homes.
Box office numbers,
The
you know what I'm
Invisible Movie.
saying?
But this was like a
Tension building silence.
app and the matches and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That you saw a million times in lead
But
up.
there's a lot.
Moving around.